All right, Marcus, are we here?
Hello.
Wow, look at him go! Look at him go! I think I'm peeking a little bit.
Well, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, whatever.
What's up,
Put one in the chat if I'm peeking. Sup, dog? How's it going?
You know, just hanging out,
Yeah.
looking at all my entombs and nadus.
True. Yeah, you're Mr. Legacy right now. What's your thoughts?
Uh, just for like this, I picked up entombs wanting to play the deck like a long time ago, but never really like fully committed to it. Uh, Now that they're gone, I don't necessarily miss it because I never really actually put true time into it. But for now, like it's kind of like whatever. Um, this just means that I play like maybe tempo now, like Dimir tempo.
Yeah.
Uh, Maybe I don't know. I did watch what's his name, Bosch and Royal's channel, or excuse me, uh, Brian Cook's channel, the Epic Storm, and he was suggesting like the Dimir Reanimator players might go back to traditional ways of like dumping things in your graveyard, so like play careful studies again. Just like essentially ways to like draw your deck and discard it, and then still do the reanimate stuff. But I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I think this was a long time coming. I think they said as much in the article that they've been trying to ban around Entomb, and
Hmm.
you know, sometimes you got to cut the problem off at the source, which is interesting because that tells me that different people made the decision for Legacy than they did Standard.
Hmm.
Because if they did that for the Standard bans, we would not be seeing a VV ban today. We would be
That's
seeing
true.
a
The Soul Cauldron.
Soul Cauldron ban.
Yep. I'm actually curious to see now like what happens because I think I think people were expecting a VV ban, but not really expecting it. If that makes sense, like they're just like, yeah, it's probably gonna get banned, but they said that like kind of like willy nilly. You know what I mean? Like they're just like, oh, whatever, like, it's gonna get banned. But until it actually got banned, they were just like, damn, it really got banned.
Yeah, I mean the VV ban. It's sort of a yes, it is a problem card, but I think the problem stemmed not from the card existing. The card's broken, but like I don't think having one copy of it on the board is an issue. I think the real interaction that was tough was Soul Cauldron, right? So you end up with
Mhm.
like, you know, four VVs because you're playing Izzet, right? So like you probably have dudes.
Yeah,
Um, if you have four VVs, yeah, sure,
yeah.
that's an
One you
issue.
can handle. One you
One, I
can
think,
handle. Two is like we're reaching critical mass, and three is like if they're not dead, that you messed up somewhere. I don't know what happened.
oh yeah, 100%. The prof's memory, I think, was just the sealant over the nail being put into the coffin of VV. Um,
Mhm.
that card's really cool, but it only like I don't think it only worked with VV, but like it was to make sure that deck stayed dead. And then the
I
Screaming
mean,
Nemesis, like the
yeah.
Screaming Nemesis ban is like red is still a thing. It red's really strong right now. They did a number by getting rid of the mouse package, but
Yep.
red is and has always been great. Like there's been ebbs and flows, but getting rid of Nemesis, sure, right?
Hmm.
Just another piece.
I mean, Nemesis was there to allow you to turn one, turn one like Hired Claw or like burnt, burnt bash turn on. I forget the card's name, but the
Burnout,
other one
bash or
drop.
not.
Yeah. And then you'd go into a two drop, which is probably like your Razorkin Needleheads. And on three, you play a Screaming Nemesis, and they're just dead, right?
Yeah,
Like it's truly like a three turn clock if you have the full package.
yeah, and
So
I think there will always be a red deck that puts up a fight. The
of
whole
course, yeah, red deck win will always be a thing.
yeah, but just keeping it in check. If they're gonna get rid of the other like the hands down best deck in the format, sure, great. Personally,
Mhm.
I like that deck being gone because maybe now I can actually play green in standard because
Ah.
I was getting real close to buying into that like Mossborn Hydra deck before the VV stuff really started taking off.
Mhm.
And then once VV started being a real problem, I was like, all right, we need to not jump into this right now. But with VV being gone and Avatar giving us Badgermole Cub,
Mhm.
uh, that green deck might exist.
Well, I don't know, man. Like, I think I agree with Andreas in chat over here. Like, I think Demir is probably going to be the best deck,
Oh,
right? There's, I
for
think
sure.
by far, like, the deck is so clean. Not to mention too, I think like the Esper Pixie deck could probably like come back and not eat a bunch of like removal from VV and um, the mono red decks. You know.
Yeah. Um, I I am not one to play that Demir deck. I tried very much on Arena,
Yeah.
but it's not my style of deck. But it is an objectively strong deck right now, even more so with VV being gone. So we'll see how it shakes out. See if the next couple top 8 brackets we see on social medias are going to be all the same deck again.
Hmm.
They also affected Pioneer today. I formerly played Pioneer, but that deck is in the ground,
Yippee!
man. I think someone put it quite well on Blue Sky earlier today. For Pioneer to really see a comeback, there needs to be about 10 or 12 bans, and like it's not so much that any deck is particularly an issue. It's that we have had the same meta for going on near 3 years,
Hmm.
and that's a statement that you want to see from like a legacy, not your baby modern.
Yep. Your attempt at making Pioneer like the next like sought after set by doing all the things to hinder you from playing these specific cards, but the decklist just hasn't changed over the past 3 years. Like I, I don't know, man. I don't think there's enough appeal for uh, anyone to play Pioneer unless it's literally a PT qualifier or like PTQ or like required event. You know what I mean? Like if you're not required to play it, I'm not playing Pioneer.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So.
There's my desire to play Pioneer right now is couldn't be lower, and that was my outlet when I worked a couple years ago near a card shop. So
Hmm.
it's tough. Modern no changes. I full heartedly agree with this. Not gonna lie, the first thing I saw this morning after the ban got posted was somebody doctored a page saying that the amulet got hit, and I was gonna send it to you, and I was like,
Mm.
whoa, they are going crazy. But no,
They did it.
yeah, they did it. They finally did it. No,
Yeah.
modern no changes. Titan's the best deck right now, which is an interesting time. But I don't think it's like a problem. Um, I think it's just
Yep.
it's an intricate combo deck that if you know how to handle it, you know how to beat it. But besides that,
Yep.
there's not like a VV deck in modern that is that problematic.
Yeah. There's like I don't know. I think the prowess deck, even in modern, isn't as strong as I don't want to say like as some people think, but like obviously you have access to a lot more cards, right? You have like access to like straight up lightning bolt. Like you don't have that uh in Pioneer. You have access to all the MH the Mod Horizons cards. So like the list is just significantly better. But like by how much? Like I don't know like how fast it beats a Titan list at the moment.
Yeah, and it's I think the main difference is like the Is It Prowess deck is not comparatively as strong as VV.
Hmm.
It is probably like you have access to more cards. It is a stronger deck than VV. However, like because of the rest of the field is so large and like all the other decks that exist in Modern exist in Modern. Like a
Hmm.
VV deck, is it prowess? It's probably good that it's a good deck, but it's I don't think it's ever going to be like the cream of the crop, just like it was in
Hmm.
Standard. Oh, we need to ban VV in Modern. That's not going to happen.
I will say the RC that just happened in Houston, the deck of the weekend was Jeskai Blink, and that deck was really sweet because it plays you play like Quantum Riddlers and you play Solitudes, like Phalanges, and then you get in there with like Philia tech. So you would like bounce all your stuff, draw a bunch of cards, deal some lightning helix damage, reset your Fable of the Mirror Breakers kind of a thing. The list is pretty sweet, not gonna lie. Um, but to see that be the breakout deck is kind of interesting.
Yeah, that deck looks really fun as a
Yeah.
as an energy player. That deck looks really fun.
Hmm.
Get to play the best part of, or the most fun part of energy,
Yep.
uh, along with dog. I like it.
True.
And you already hit on legacy. We're learning Forge. I think Forge is going to be good for the next little bit.
I definitely agree. So I think the top decks that I'm probably going to see is probably Dimir Tempo. You're probably going to see a lot of Forge. You're going to see a lot of Delver still. And to be honest, I think, granted, it's going to take some like finagling again to like figure out the true breakfast combo. But without Nadu, like I don't know if there's a world where like OG breakfast comes back.
Yeah, I could see that.
Um, so who knows? But yeah, I'm like going back to the legacy bands. I'm curious to see what a metagame looked like if Tamio got banned. You know, a lot of people have been talking about Tamio, or like not really wanting Tamio to get banned, but Tamio has been kind of a problem. Um, but we'll see. Maybe
Yeah.
don't ban it yet since I just got my fourth Chinese one. Please
Sure.
don't. Let me play the cards first.
Sure. And then Popper, hit on Popper for a minute. I've been really looking into Popper lately. At least I used to play it a little bit, and it was fun. And I think having a deck around just for like, oh, you're at the LGS, and somebody's like, oh, I have Popper. You want to play Popper? Sure, great.
Hmm.
But what I find about the High Tide ban is very interesting. Is it's a ban very much like the Sensei's Divining Top ban in Modern, where it's not necessarily that the card is busted, right? It's just broken. It's more of a tournament logistics thing. It's
Hmm.
a like dexterity issue.
Hmm.
Hey, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Powers that be in CEDH, Karakushima, get rid of it.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, because High Tide wasn't particularly like it was a good deck, but it wasn't particularly like tier one or anything.
Right.
Um, but just sometimes turns that last a billion minutes, eating up all the time is not great. And so yeah, that took the hit, and then a whole slew of stuff in digital formats. You know,
Yippee!
I mean, the good cards are pre-banned and historic because it's historic and like
Nope.
it's a heavily curated format. I'm surprised they came in and did stuff in Brawl. Um, I like I always thought Brawl was supposed to be like the arena version of Commander almost.
Hmm.
And so seeing like at least three of these are Commander staples. Getting the axe is kind of tough. Timeless no changes. Timeless strong. It's the only real digital format. Fight me. Um, yeah, banned and restricted. Big announcement today.
Yeah. Like
Notably,
that's
no commander changes
yeah.
yet. I'll cry.
Soon.
I'll cry when Ristic Study goes, but
Eh. I don't know. Like I mentioned last stream, I'm gonna be honest. Like if either Ristic or Thoracle get banned, I I think I would be sad, but also like it's fine. I think what I want to do in CDH doesn't necessarily rely on either of those two cards at the moment. So
Yep.
I think it's okay. It is.
Uh,
It's gonna be lame for sure, but it is what it is. I'm happy for a change. So
yeah. Change is typically good with these things. Pills, thank you for the follow.
ooh, thank you.
And now, um, yeah, that's a ban unrestricted. I think we'll see if there's commander changes. They'll happen next year. I think is what the standing
Hmm.
thought
I
is.
think Gavin's last message was next year. They're gonna look at something in January, I think.
Yeah. So
So
we will
put
see
your
until
Mystics and
then. I
Oracles
will.
now.
Yeah. I will say this is the last BNR, unless like something absurd happens out of Avatar. This is the last BNR for any format until next year.
Hmm.
Um,
Unless something gets broken in Avatar,
yeah, like barring
then
emergency bans, this
yep.
is it. So happy Christmas, you know.
Merry Chrysler.
All right. Speaking of Avatar and potentially being broken, what's your thoughts on the set? We see the full set now.
Yep,
Um,
we do have a full set release now, which is nice.
yeah. I really like this set. Gonna go
Yeah.
out on a limb here. I think this set's pretty good, especially coming
Hmm.
off the heels of Spider-Man. I'm not biased at all. I'm not a comic guy. You know, comics are not my thing. Uh, Take that with a grain of salt. However, Spider-Man did not feel great as a set. Um, and Avatar does. Like genuinely, I've been playing around with like some online like draft practice, some like beta rounds of just cracking packs online and seeing what limited looks like. Looks like a fun limited environment. Um, and a lot of commander reprints, a lot of new cards, like a lot, especially a lot of like cool new cards that I think are going to see a lot of play, especially in commander.
Hmm.
But yeah, what are your thinkings on this?
Um, I I'm torn between like two answers, but they kind of like mesh with each other. So like one, I'm excited because it's a new Magic set. Like even regardless, like if of Spider-Man, we didn't really care as much for the set. I was more or less excited because it's a new Magic set. Like new cards is always fun, so that's always a plus. But second is that I think the amount of nostalgia and also like uh, well themed cards or well like represented cards uh, is are very high in this set. So I am very happy with how this set is at the moment. Um, I haven't really got a chance to play the set like at all, but just by reading cards alone, a lot of them have felt very thematic and felt very uh, strong for sure. So I'm excited. I'm very excited for this set. Like I mentioned, I think it's the nostalgia plus the new Magic set. So it's the double whammy for me. I'm excited.
Gotcha. Are there any particular standout cards for you?
Um, as of this moment, there's only two so far, and I haven't tested either one. I think one that's going to be on a lot of people's radars for sure is Redirect Lightning. Um, I think that card for 1 mana and 5 life or pay an extra two is very strong to change the target of a spell or an ability with a single target. Um, yeah, I think this card's going to be used a lot for sure. A lot more than Spider Punk initially that we thought of for sure.
Yeah.
Um,
Like
so.
especially like that 5 life. I could definitely see that being a pretty big cost in your 60 card formats.
Hmm.
But in Commander where you have 40 life, right? Like this is just copy two of deflecting swat, like slightly worse deflecting swat.
Hmm. Very much so. And at least for me as well, since I'm a turbo player, this doesn't hurt off of Nas as much because it's being 1 mana, or for it being 1 mana versus like deflecting spot, which is 3 mana.
True.
Um, that's always a plus. Um, and then off of Necropiles, like a Necrodominance, Necropotence, this only costs one at most. And granted, it is 5 life, so with Necro and Ad Nauseam, like you're going to be limited to being able to cast it. But depending on how much life you have left over, and maybe your Nas and Necropile were decent, you have like another piece of interaction that doesn't require commander. Um, so yeah, I'm really high on this card at the moment.
Yeah. Do you think there's a world where some of the like the turbo decks, like your Analas of the world, might slot this in over SWAT?
Mm, I don't necessarily think so. It's like to be honest, at least from my perspective, I think if you're playing true turbo, uh, your lists are all going to be generically the same to a degree. Um, like I'll take my version of Grixis Pirates for example. Sure, there's a Glenhorn Buccaneer and like Malcolm in the command zone, but for the most part, it is slanted like strictly turbo. Like the cards in there are specifically meant to turbo out a win versus like mid range out with Grixis Pirates.
Sure. Yeah. No, I think this card's going to be really good in Commander. I am going to try. I'm going to run a, probably test. I'm thinking maybe a two of in
Hmm.
Energy in Modern.
Sure. Yeah,
Um,
I can see that.
there's enough life gain to offset the pay 5 life, and there is enough targeted removal, or just like counter spells and stuff in Modern that having an option to deal with them is great. Now, notably, like Boros Energy is a proactive deck. You don't really want to be sitting on your heels waiting for somebody to cast into you.
Hmm.
Um, but I could see this end up as a two of in the sideboard, three of in the
Hmm.
sideboard. Um, so we're definitely gonna get our reps in with this, see how it goes.
Yep. I can definitely see it in some 60 card play for sure. It'll find some sort of home there, I think.
Yeah. You said there was a second card as well.
There was Redirect Lightning is one. I think my number one pick so far. If not, like maybe I need to test my second card that I'm gonna mention. But Wan Shitong, Librarian, the X blue blue Flash Bird. Yeah, this card is insane. For X blue blue Flash Flag Vigilance, whenever Wan Shitong enters, put a +1/+1 counter on him, then draw half X cards rounded down. So if you guys remember Hydroid Crisis, it's kind of similar text to that. And then whenever an opponent searches their library, put a +1/+1 counter on Wan Shitong and draw a card. So if you're telling me I can flash this in response to someone's fetch land to put a +1/+1 counter on it and draw a card, for blue blue, like you don't even have to put X into it if you really don't want to, because it'll just naturally just get big. Yeah, I'll do it. Like this card's insane.
Yeah, this card's crazy. This is an immediate slot in for me in Jackal. This
Hmm.
card's crazy. It's not only is it a good blue card, but it's a good blue card with an X cost, which means I
Hmm.
can just fit to anything two or higher in my Jackal curve.
Yep.
Um, yeah, this is really cool. This probably sees less 60 card play. There's probably a home for it. But like I think Redirect Lightning has much more 60 card applicability than this.
Hmm.
But in terms of commander applicability, I think this card is like you have to have a real good reason not to try it.
Yep. This card's a house, man. A lot of people are liking this card at the moment also because technically it is a infinite mana outlet. You can cast it for its X cost, where X is like however many cards are left into your deck. And like I know some of the Grixis players are like, "Oh, sweet, I can just Thoracle right afterwards." And it's like, "Yep, yeah, that's so true." Like you can draw X amount of your deck, and then have just enough to Thoracle. Like this card's really good. I'm very excited for this card.
Yeah, this this is crazy, and I know that the fancy shiny version is going to cost $18 trillion,
Yep.
but sometimes you gotta make it happen. You gotta grease those wheels.
Yep.
Um,
The the pains of making a pretty deck.
True. I will say my top two cards of the set. This is my top one.
Hmm.
But then I want to shout out Badger Mole Cub.
Yes.
Uh, because very much right now, and I'm looking at this almost specifically in the CDH context for this.
Hmm.
In CDH right now, the meta is very like enduring vitality heavy, right?
Hmm.
If your creatures are tapping for mana, why not more? Right? Like we play
More.
Kinnan in the 99s of like Kenrith, right? Um it we want that like incidental more mana. So this just being on a 2 cost, one of its generic guy that also
Hmm.
has like upside on ETB, and it's a 2/2, so it lives through Bowmasters, goes crazy. Like it just
Hmm.
goes nuts. In 60
The
card,
initial like living off of Bowmasters. Just to go over your point real quick. The initial like ETB off of a Bowmaster and it still surviving is great. It's actually huge. You know.
yeah, because as much as like Bowmasters has sort of seen its ebbs and flows, when it's around, it sucks, right? Like
Yep.
having your board picked off is tough, and so just putting up a another roadblock is good. I'm sure this card will see 60 card play. I think this is going to be your like standard chase mythic
Hmm.
of the set, but in CDH, I think this card might end up going the same way as Enduring Vitality, actually, where the card comes out and initially people aren't super high on it. With Vitality at least, it was, oh, it's 3 mana, right? Like, do I want to clog up the 3 slot with this thing that doesn't do anything
Hmm.
on its own? Um, but then people come around to it a month or two down the line. I think this card will probably be the same way, where yes, you're limited to adding an additional green instead of an additional whatever.
Hmm.
Um, but I think that's still really good, man. This is also seeing play or seeing testing in Jackal right now.
Yeah. I think also it being non-legendary is kind of huge. Um, it's a very cool thing to clone off a jackal to have multiple badger cubs or badger mole cubs.
Yeah,
Um, do you think some decks that play this card in CDH specifically will go up more on dorks if they're not on as many dorks at the moment? Because sure, enduring vitality is the main like one, and you could probably argue with like Cryptolith, right? Because there are some like Rogthras decks that are still playing it. Um, but do you think there's other creatures that would get played more because of this card now? Like more dorks, more like your Bloom Tenders of the world, your like Faber Elders, more of that kind of vein, you know?
yeah. I will say it is still probably going to be limited to decks where green is the predominant color,
Hmm.
because it only adds an additional green. Yes, it's useful to help fill your generic costs, but like if you can't super capitalize off the green, sure. So like if a let's say like a 3 color green deck um was maybe thinking of shaving off of the solo green, or like the, let's say you're playing a Bant deck and you're playing like Avacyn's Pilgrim, but maybe you've cut
Hmm.
it recently. I think you probably go back up on it and then you run this.
Just so that it
Um,
gives you that extra like green pip. Like although you produced why you make it green because of this.
yeah, but like,
Yeah.
does the C play in like a Kenrith? Probably not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fair.
Um,
Yeah, this card's sweet, man. I I'm I know we're gonna go through the set here in a second, but like spoiler, I'm already extremely impressed with the flavor and some of the card choices and designs for the set versus Spider-Man for sure. Like they killed it with the set.
yeah, I think I think a lot of, or at least it feels like a lot of love went into this set.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's how it translates. Yeah, so let's quickly go through the set. We're not going to go through the entire thing just because like there is 500 cards spread across the two sets.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just sort by price because that's typically what people are hyped on. Um, right off the bat, we've got a couple of real great commander reprints, a great henge, a
Mm-hmm.
force of negation, Teferi's protection. Um, I need to see this force of negation in person uh, to tell, but this could be a really cool art. This could be a really pretty, especially in foil, man.
Mm-hmm.
I run the unobtainium force of negation right now, the Final Fantasy one,
The Final Fantasy promo one, yeah.
but that one's not foil. And
True.
if this one looks, I know they're all kind of pixelated because they're all screen grabs, but if it looks really good in foil, man, you know, that
Yeah.
might be the move.
Some of the images that are getting posted around online, it's not looking good, man. Like hopefully the cruel tutor isn't as like in your face as it is as possible, or like maybe some of these cards are like not actually just screen grabs from the show. Um, but hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully they're not as bad, but only time will tell.
Yeah.
Are
Uh,
you buying? Do you know what you're buying for the set yet? Are you buying like sealed product? Do you know yet?
I think the only sealed product that I will partake in is the Commander bundle. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I just can't. I even with this set, which like I love this property. If there was a Universes Beyond set for me, this is it.
Yep.
Um, I just can't justify going deep on unsealed products. The Commander bundle I think was really cool because if I'm not mistaken, it comes with a click wheel,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm a sucker for those.
As
Um,
many as you can get.
as many as I can get.
Yep.
Excellent storm trackers. But yeah, sealed wise, I'm not going super deep. If there was like precons, I would probably buy all the precons.
Mm-hmm.
But there's not, which actually I kind of like. I like not having precons with every set.
Yep.
Gives you opportunity to build decks, which we'll get to later on today. Um,
True.
yeah, I am interested to see that the based off of money, the most hyped card from this set that's a new printing is Heibai, Forest Guardian. I definitely looked at this card like for a little bit. It's a 3 and a green for 4/4 legendary, but it's a 5 color. It has a 5 color ability in its text box, so it's a 5 color commander.
Mm-hmm.
That when it enters, you reveal cards from the top of your library till you hit a shrine, and you put that just straight onto the battlefield. Then you shuffle,
Mm-hmm.
um, which I think is really cool. Just like Super Cascade for specifically shrines, and I'm assuming you're building this around shrines because why would you not? So you're gonna put some like pretty busted shrines in it. Um, so 4 mana, get a body and one of your best cards. Excellent, great.
Mm-hmm.
And then the 5 mana ability is a Wooburg and tap. And for each legendary enchantment you control, create a 1/1 colorless spirit that can't block or can't be blocked by non-spirit creatures. So you make some dudes. You make
Mm-hmm.
some, yeah. You make some spirits and shrines. Yes, they're two different types, but there's a lot of like crossover in cards
Yep.
for synergy wise. So like I could see this. I just didn't realize it was going to be the most hyped money wise card new printing from this set.
Yeah. I I did see someone tweet that that card and food chain means go find all your shrines in your deck.
Oh, that's sick.
And
That's
I'm just
cool.
like, I was like, wow, that's really cool, actually. So I can only imagine there's some sort of synergy where, like, I'm assuming there's a shrine that deals damage or says something like you win the game, maybe, or
Yeah,
like, you know,
I think they printed it in the set.
yeah. There, I'm going to assume, uh, three and a green to cast Heibai, plus like some food chain tech. You know, you're in five colors, so I can only imagine it can't be that bad.
yeah,
But yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
yeah, we'll see. It'll be. There's so many cool legendaries to make into a deck from the
Yep.
set. Um, yeah, that might be one for me to look into later.
Yep.
Uh,
I think that'd be pretty sweet. Not gonna lie.
yeah, I have to shout out that even though Cruel Tutor sees zero play, it is the sixth most expensive pre-ordering card from the
Yeah.
two sets.
Yep. Sure is.
People like the man. It's pre-ordering higher than Badger Molka and Wan Shitong. It's kind of crazy.
Yep.
Um, the Avatar Roku is one that I was looking at. I was looking at for a while, but it's mono red. And right now, like in Commander, my building in mono red is kind of tough. But
Yeah.
Avatar Roku
There's
for
there's only so much you can do, right?
yeah, for 3 and 3 red, you get a 6/6 legendary human avatar with whenever a player attacks, add 6 red. Until end of combat, you don't lose this mana as Steps End. And then it has an ability for 3 red and no tap. Target creature gets +3/+0 until end of turn. So like this is evidently like a combat focus thing, maybe like an infinite combat thing. I don't know.
Hmm.
My experience in doing infinite combats was when I played Jund. So
Sure.
I don't know the best way to do that in mono red, but like this looks like a sick card for like a cool casual deck. Um, I just don't, I'm already I already struggle to build casual decks.
Yep.
Building
I
casual
feel
in
it.
mono red, yeah, that's tough right now for me.
Yeah. I man, like obviously with red, it's kind of in its nature to do a bunch of damage, right? And especially with Roku here, you essentially just either make something buff or you can make him buff. Uh, if you're adding 6 red and it requires 3 red to activate, you're technically what is that? 9 points away from killing someone with commander damage. If that is a route you want to go for Roku.
Yeah,
Um, so like there might be some cool synergies where you give Roku haste somewhere, you move to combat, you plus him twice, so he gets +6/+0. So now he's a 12/6. And I'm sure Red has a bunch of like damage doublers. And I know there's a triple damage one. Um, you could potentially just one shot someone with Roku. You know, that'd be pretty cool.
that would be cool. Yeah, I don't know, man. There's so many cool cards. Like Kyoshi's in here.
This set's really cool.
I haven't even looked at all the Earthbend stuff. I know there's like a Toph deck being kicked around for CDH.
Hmm.
I haven't super been into like the whole Earthbend thing, but like there's just a lot of cool cards, man. Like they really spent time on this set, and I very much appreciate that after Spider-Man.
Hmm.
Yeah. You gonna put Walls of Bossing Say and Knights?
The fact that I can activate all of my Templar Knights to find the walls of Bossing Say, and now all of my knights have indestructible is kind of cool. Not gonna lie. Yeah,
You can run this as a commander.
you can if you really want to.
Is this the new wall commander?
I think
Or still Pramicon?
No, I think it's Arcades or
Oh,
arcade
sure, it is
the
Arcades.
Bant Dragon. Yep, I think that is the that's the one that's the Walls commander at the moment.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, this set's gonna be really cool. We're gonna track it. We're gonna probably talk about it, for the next couple weeks as things settle. Um, with release, or I think pre-release is happening on Friday.
This week, yep,
Yeah.
should be this week for pre-releases.
So we'll see. We'll see what people are going on about. Cabbage Merchant. Just a quick little shout out. This card reads really cool, but like I think this is a not as applicable card. Like I don't think it'll see play in as many decks as like a Redirect Lightning will. But where it does see play, I think it's going to be crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it is clear that that card is probably a lot of people's picks at the moment because it got released very early. Um, and I think, like you mentioned, how some decks, or I think a majority of the decks will play Redirect Lightning, whereas the decks that care about Cabbage Man will thrive off of it very hard. Like I think the Corvolds of the world are wanting this card very badly. Um, there's a lot of just synergies with tokens, like stacking tokens at the moment with some of these decks. Like I can only imagine if Tivit uh, would have some sort of green in it. This would be like a house in Tivit.
Absolutely.
So
All right. Well, what we did with Avatar, because we love it so much, is we both made a deck. Both made a deck list.
we did.
Um, I think I want to start with you because mine might be rambly.
Sure, sure. You
So
got mine? Oh yeah,
I
I see
got
it.
you. I got you. What are we doing?
Uh, so my deck list is a representation of Iroh and all of his generals of the White Lotus. The whole goal for the deck is to essentially get Iroh out and get either one of the members of the White Lotus onto the battlefield or all of them onto the battlefield, and then kind of just use only lesson cards to play the game. Initially, I had it to where Um, Iroh is the main commander, and the only cards that are in the deck are like Aang cards. Um, I think that idea might have switched because I kind of thought of this deck as a strictly uh, form the White Lotus kind of a deck, and then use all the lessons to essentially learn how to, you know, redeem yourself as Uncle Iroh. But as you can see, like if you scroll down a little bit to I think it's in the sideboard at the moment. Technically, this is an Aang deck because it is 5 colors. Uh, I have to essentially rule zero this deck before I even get to play it. So if I get a no, then I have to play Aang. But if I do get a yes, then I get to play Iroh as my main commander.
Nice.
Yep.
That's big.
It's
That's big.
like I mentioned, I think the initial idea that I had was to have Aang at the helm for this deck, and he would essentially learn all of these lessons to become the Avatar. Like I thought that was really cool, but I think I leaned more into the White Lotus theme. Um, so who knows? It could change tomorrow, but as of right now, this is what it is. I will say it's gonna be kind of tough because I have to rule zero two other colors because I'm playing every single lesson from the Avatar set in this deck. So
Yep. So I mean, this is probably what a 2, 3 too?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, the whole goal for this is a two. Um, like from one of my other casual decks, the whole goal for that deck is to get a bunch of the same secret layer out onto the battlefield. Like if I'm able to get all of the generals out, like Boomy, Zhang, Paku, Piando, like if I'm able to get all of them out, I've won the game. I I think it's good enough for me.
Sure. Gotcha. Are there any like standout cards in here that you're super super hyped on?
Not not as much. I know the Secrets of Bloodbending, the mythic rare sorcery, that card's actually really sweet. Um, Other than that, there isn't really too much into the deck. Like, to be fair, the deck is based off of like I think it's like 20 uncommon or sorry, it's 19 sorceries and 26 instants at the moment, and they're all the lessons. And a majority of them are all commons and uncommons. So as far as like strength level wise, like I genuinely don't know how this deck is going to function. Speaking of which, I'm still technically like a few cards off, 25 cards off from like having it a full deck. At this moment, I am attempting to do this with strictly avatar cards. So like if like why is there no Soul Ring in this deck? Well, because there's no Soul Ring avatar, or there's no Soul Ring in Avatar unless I want to get like the super bougie one.
Yeah, I get the
Um,
commander bundle.
the Commander bundle, yeah. And then also like I mentioned, I don't know how hard I want to lean into one of the themes because like say for example, I do have Aang as like my main commander. Um, if the goal is for him to like learn all these lessons to become the Avatar, I think I have a different deck list for that. But that is something I haven't even put together yet. I think this one is much more the route that I want to go to, especially in like the bracket two kind of realm.
Sure.
But yeah,
Yeah, this looks like a fun time.
Uncle Iroh, you're gonna learn today. That's the name of the list. So
Yeah, I would love to see the deck fleshed out a bit.
mhm.
Um, get some bracket two games in.
Hell yeah.
Well,
I know.
I
I was gonna say I know you made a deck. Mm-hmm.
yeah. So I took a bit of a different approach.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, so this is an Aang deck,
Yes.
and we're primarily using avatar cards, but this is a three. This is a
Mm-hmm.
solid three.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's any game changers. I mean, technically,
Recon Plus.
it's calling it a two, but like, whatever. It's a three.
Sure. Yeah.
Uh, but this is the entire point of the deck is an interaction between Avatar Aang and Katara Water Tribe's Hope.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Okay.
hear me out. What Avatar Aang reads is whenever you waterbend, earthbend, firebend, or airbend, draw a card.
Sure.
Notice, no once per turn, no exhaust, no none of that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, we go to Katara Water Tribe's Hope. Has vigilance when it enters, create a 1/1 white ally creature token, and it has Waterbend X. And frankly, that's all we care about. Because at the end of that Waterbend X, it says activate only during your turn. Notice, no
It's
once
also
per
not
turn.
once per turn. Okay.
No restriction on that.
Uh-huh. Sure.
So what this reads is if you have the two of them out, you can waterbend for one over and over and over again.
Uh-huh.
And every time you waterbend, you draw your card. So it reads pay one mana, draw a card. So what we're trying to do is we're
Yeah.
trying to match these two up, draw our deck, play a bunch of creatures, and then like slam a finale and go from there. Right? This is a combat deck. No Thoracle in here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Uh, Now, how do we get the mana for this, right? Because
Yeah,
we need like
I'm
80
trying
mana
to
or
figure that
something.
out. I was like, where's the mana coming from, dog?
Firebending. All right, hear me
uh,
out.
okay, okay, okay.
So, another fun idea I had, and it's in the deck. Technically, you can do this to someone. Is with Sozin's Comet and Comet Storm. Uh, Pretty much, Sozin's Comet is a fantastic ritual if you have bodies and
Sure.
you can use that mana in combat because you each creature you control gains firebending 5 until end of turn, which means whenever it attacks you add 5 red. The mana lasts until end of combat. So
Yeah.
this deck has a sub theme of making like ally tokens and making dudes. There's some interactions between all of the like lower color Angs and Appa, to where you can
Oh.
loop them and get like infinite dudes, and then
Yeah.
you can swing with infinite dudes and firebend with infinite dudes, or enough dudes so you don't draw your deck, right? Because like that will also just draw your deck with Ang.
Yep.
But like you're getting your mana through the avatar cards. Your goal is to find Katara and then use Katara to draw your deck. And then yeah, you're slamming a finale. It's a combat win con, but like we're running some tutors, but not like the game changery tutors, because there's a few tutors that exist that go and search out legendary creatures or legendary cards. And what do you know? Katara's legendary, so excellent. We got to run Cruel Tutor for the meme.
True.
I am justifying an Entomb Reanimate because there's an Avatar Entomb. But yeah, like if you want, you can Sozin's Comet, and then from all that mana from your Sozin's Comet, you can just dump it into a Comet Storm and like absolutely obliterate someone.
Yep.
Which I think's really, really kind of funny. But yeah, this is just like I want to jam all the Avatar cards into like a deck that kind of has a game plan, and your mana base is going to be expensive. It's a 5-color deck. Like, you know, if you want a functional mana base, you're running your fetches and shocks. But because we're playing Avatar cards, we get to play like fish.
Yeah. True.
You know, fish is cool. If you want to throw game changers in here, like you have the whole suite of CEDH tutors. You have like stuff like Fierce and SWAT. You have Rollick. I think I'm on Rollick right now. Yeah, I'm on Rollick right now. Eladamri's Call. This might be my pick. Aside from the Force of Negation, this might be my pick for like the bonus sheet art of the set.
Yeah, it's really good.
And what do you know? Good. What do you know? It can go get you a Katara.
True.
So yeah, like this is just this is just, hey, I opened like a billion packs of Avatar. I want to jam all the Avatar cards.
That's sick.
Like there's other stuff in here too. Like if you, let's say you only have like 2 dudes, you got to make your mana from firebending, right? So Boomy and Ashaya is infinite combats if you really wanted to.
Yeah,
but also
that's cool.
We're not winning through infinite combat damage. We're winning through big comets.
Yeah, big rock.
Yeah, big rock, big rock.
Or throw a big rock. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. This deck looks really fun. I'm sure it clunks. I haven't played a ton of casual as of recent, but like your curve isn't horrendous. Yeah, it just looks like a fun time, man.
Hell yeah, that's dope. This is sick.
Yeah. No,
I do. Go ahead.
This Appa card synergizes really well with like stuff where you reduce the cost to cast from exile. So like stuff like Urza's Incubator. If you can blink Appa and just like bounce all your stuff, then when your stuff's bounced, you can recast it for 2. But if you run an Urza's incubator, then that cost is free, and then you have something that benefits off of like stuff ETB.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have bodies, which I think is really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, it's sick.
yeah, it's sick. I like it. I like it a lot.
Hmm. What's it called? There was actually one other deck, not necessarily for CDH, but I thought it would be pretty cool. Or well, after reading, it's actually pretty sick. It's the Jeskai Sokka card. I don't know if you've seen it yet.
I have not.
Sokka,
Do you have a list?
I do not have a list, but it's Sokka Tenacious Tactician. If you want to pull it up. So the way that this card reads, it is Jeskai tokens, but all your tokens are just hella buff. Like, inherently, just because of Sokka. Um, I think, uh, like, I think overall, this card just reads really strong. 4 mana, it's got menace and prowess. Other allies you control have menace and prowess. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, make a 1/1 ally creature token. Yeah, I don't know about you, but this card reads really strong to me as a commander.
Yeah, like a just guy combat. I mean, it's just guy winning through combat damage, but you're like spell slinging to get the prowess triggers up.
Hmm.
Yeah, this could be a really fun build around. I don't know if like you were saying, probably not for CDH. I agree with that. However, this could be a really fun like just kick around casual. This could be like a pretty strong 4.
Yeah, honestly, I think that is the realm that I want to probably put this card in. I think this card, especially with like since you're in blue, obviously you have access to counter magic. But like that's not necessarily the whole goal for it. Like I think you can like get away with um I know there's a lot of like there's a couple vehicles in the set. Like this is the scene also where they're what's it called? Uh it's like the incursion onto like the Fire Nation, right? So like you got like all the vehicles that you can go with this deck. You have a bunch of like all the non-creature spells that would like let you like naturally cantrip. Um, you can make a bunch of dudes with this deck for sure.
Yeah, this deck looks fun. Not gonna lie. There's so many decks I want to build from this set.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's actually safe to say, and I think you and I both agree that this that is the one that we probably care about the most uh, since Final Fantasy, right? Because granted, we're only like a couple sets away, but even then, like Final Fantasy to me, didn't have this much of a chokehold. You know what I mean? I don't know. At least for me.
Yeah, I mean, if Final Fantasy was a property that I grew up playing, I think maybe I would care a bit more about it. But in terms of like relevant cards, yeah, I agree that this is very similar vein to Final Fantasy.
Hmm.
Uh, a lot of stuff from Final Fantasy kind of snuck its way into being sort of just evergreen, good to run cards.
Hmm.
I think the same thing will happen with this set.
Yeah, this set's cool. I'm very happy with, like I mentioned, the card design, the set overall. Yeah, it's sweet.
Yep. Now, what are
Mm.
your predictions? We have an event coming up
Mm.
on the 22nd and the 23rd of November at the Burien Community Center. We have CDH, the Finals 2. It's our end of the year culmination CDH tournament. Pricing is currently foil Mox Diamond, Cradle, Cradle, Cradle.
Hmm.
Um, my big question of the night for you is, what avatar decks do we see getting played at this event?
Oh boy. I don't really know. I know Brandon has been working on a list, and I actually messaged him while we were talking here. And he sent me over his deck list. Um, I'll shoot that over to you so you can take a look at it and maybe pull that up on stream. Um, Other than this top list that I've seen get brewed a little bit, I don't know, man. I don't know how much Avatar is going to be played as a commander.
Sure. Yeah, I can see that. So what do we have here in this top list? I'm not, like I said before, I'm not super familiar with the whole Earthbend stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I see there's a Tezzeret. I like a Tezzeret.
That's good.
Um, yeah. Do you know what we're trying to do really here?
Yeah, so at your end step for your tops ability, you Earthbend two. So you Earthbend two. You Earthbend a thing and put 2+1/+1 counters on it. I think. Um, or is it Earthbend two? Yeah. At the end of your end step, you Earthbend two. So what you want to do, you Earthbend, um, like something like your Gaia's Cradle or like your lands that become artifacts. Um, and then you can do some cool shenanigans with some untappers. So like Magus of the Candelabra or Candelabra of Tados itself. To essentially make infinite mana with Ashaya because now your things are lands. And you could dump all this infinite mana into, or infinite mana and infinite untaps with Codex Shredder. You can essentially mill your
Mm-hmm.
opponents out. Or if you want to get real cool with it, you can do Walking Ballista. I know Brandon's been trying to find a slot for Walking Ballista. It looks like he did find a slot for it. Um, and you essentially kind of do like some cool tutor, like artifact tutor shenanigans, um, with like Oswald. And you essentially just play like, it sounds weird to say, but like Naya artifacts. Is that like, is that something you could say in 2025, right? Like,
Yeah, I mean we're
yeah.
on like Oswald, we're on Delivery Moogle,
Hmm.
um, we're on Goblin Engineer.
But yeah, this is sweet. It's actually kind of cool too because he's also what's it called? He plays Underworld Breach plus a grinding station. I know he's been trying to slot in a grinding station. I don't know if he took it out. Yeah,
I'm not seeing it right now.
looks like he took it out for now. But you can essentially either like mill yourself, and then you can do some like shenanigans with infinite extorts for blind obedience. Like I know one of his win cons is blind obedience, to like extort the table and kind of win the game from there, kind of a thing.
Sure, sure, sure.
Um, but yeah, it's been pretty sweet. But like I said, as far as like, man, anything else that would peek its way as a commander in CDH, I don't know, man. Uh, there's really not that much.
Yeah, I think we'll see a lot more cards in the 99, but I am very excited to see how things shake out for that event.
Hmm.
Once again, it's the 22nd and the 23rd over here at Bering Community Center. Um, I've been out to that space a couple times. It's certainly got more than enough space. We're really trying to push for this being a 100 player plus 128. I think we can expand like even higher than that if we really want to.
Hmm.
Um, but it should be a really great time. Our meta is super interesting and a little different than the rest of the country. Uh,
Yeah.
I'm just I'm super excited, and that's coming up real quick here. That's in like 2 weeks.
We're essentially 2 weeks away from that event. I'm very excited. This is one of our events that are I've been looking forward to for a while. Like this is our first like I guess you could say a large scale event, quote unquote. You know. Um, but yeah, I'm excited. Hopefully we get some more signups as well. Really get closer to that number that we were looking for. But yeah, I'm excited. Should be a good time.
Yes, it should. Um, do you have anything else for these wonderful people? I am through my agenda.
Um, I do. I have a very serious question.
Yes, sir.
Danny,
Yeah.
what is the best soup?
Brother, get out of here.
What?
The best soup.
Mm-hmm.
Do I actually have to like consume the broth? Are we counting hot pot as a soup?
Uh, I'll allow it.
Because I will say hot pot if that's allowed.
Yeah, I'll allow it. It's not an answer that I was expecting, but you know, I'll allow it.
Yeah, I mean, the hot pot thing is really cool. We've got a couple real nice hot pot places around here that we're enjoying a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, man. Sometimes like it's definitely starting to get into that like colder, rainy season. Pho is really good when it's like really nasty outside.
Oh yeah.
But even like we can completely change it up and go for like a nice, PNW classic Ivers chowder, and
True.
I wouldn't be upset.
I feel like I have to ask, you know, because I know soup is your favorite food.
True, true, true.
So
Soup is my absolute favorite food. Did we settle on cereal being a soup? You in the comments, weigh in on this. Is cereal a soup? I think it is. I think it's the soup of breakfast.
I think cereal is soup. But yeah, that's all I got.
Gotcha. Yeah, man. Avatar's sick. It's gonna be a real fun time. I think we are gonna send y'all over to that TCG guy.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like they're playing Commander right now. Go give him love. Let him know we sent you. And yeah. Have a good
All
night.
right, y'all. Later.